A couple days ago, Indonesian military community was surprised by a wishlist picture of Indonesian Armed Force Defense Procurement Plan. It might be the list for the Phase 3 modernization program, and it is believed that this list will be proposed at the Ministry of Defense leadership meeting. Some of the lists are too good to be true in my opinion, and I remind myself to put a giant grain of salt when I read it. Like the procurement plan for 36 Rafale and also 15 F-15EX, 13 new submarines in 4 different types, and many others. But there is one particular list that I'm interested the most. The procurement plan of 16 140 meters frigates. Why? Let's talk about it in today's video. In my previous video about Iver Hultveldt, I mentioned that Indonesian Navy needs at least 18 to 24 frigates. I picked that number so it can be divided into 3 naval command. And if we look back at the wish list again, I'm glad that my prediction is not too far off. As a country with non-aligned foreign policy, Indonesia is sitting in an uneasy position. We have China in the north and Australia in the south. If the escalation blows up in the South China Sea between the US and its allies with China, most likely it will expand to Indonesian waters. So having a strong deterrence power to defend ourselves from both parties is the only option. And one of the ways is by having more frigates. According to the Global Firepower Index, Indonesia currently has 7 frigates. This number is lower than Malaysia 10, Vietnam 9, and Australia 8. Even Singapore has 6 frigates in their fleet. Indonesian frigates are mostly old, and the latest 105-meter vessel can only be categorized as light frigates, with limited capability compared to the full-size one. So Indonesian Navy needs to add new and more full-size frigate in their fleet. But what kind of frigates is the Indonesian Navy looking for? The most urgent one is a frigate with anti-submarine capability. At least from what I'm aware of, there are 3 or 4 strong candidates for this procurement plan. The first one is Iver Hultveldt. With previous procurement deal, Iver Hultveldt has a strong position to become the next winner. Why? Because soon after Fittipaldi is done with the first batch, they won't have a major issue when building the next one. And it's relatively cheap too. Yes, I know, Iver Hultveldt was designed as an anti-air frigate, but with its modular concept, it surely can be repurposed to take other roles like anti-submarine warfare. The future Type 31 multi-role frigates of the Royal Navy also based on Iver Hultveldt design. They realized that they wouldn't be able to afford enough high-end Type 26 frigates to replace the Type 23 frigates on a 1-for-1 basis. So they compromised by building 8 Type 26 frigates for £8 billion and 5 Type 31 frigates for £1.25 billion. The UK also plans to export Type 31 frigates to other countries too. Imagine if we choose Iver Hultveldt again. Not only we can replace all the old frigates with relatively cheap one, but also we might be able to sell it to other countries too, and continuing the success of Fittipaldi LPD design. Another candidate is the 30 FFM frigate from Japan. I made a video about this ship a couple months ago, but for the recap, in early November there was a news that said Japan wants to export its destroyer to Indonesia. They didn't specify which type it was, but after doing some research on what it will be, we the community believe it will be the 30 FFM frigate. Japan recently launched the first ship of this class, and if the sea trials and tests are going well, it will make Japan more confident to offer and sell their frigates to other countries. Even though this frigate is smaller and shorter than Iver Hultveldt, 30 FFM is an ASW frigate by blood, so it will fit easily with Indonesian Navy needs. If the Japanese offer is true, 8 frigates for 300 billion yen or 2.8 billion US dollar and 4 will be made in Japan and 4 in Indonesia, that's a good offer if you ask me. Last one, we have Frame Multi-Mission Frigate. Even though it's not officially being offered to Indonesia, Indonesian Navy seems interested in it and the community also talks about it a lot. So I want to talk about this ship a little bit. After I look at frame specification from the French and Italian version, I understand why Indonesian Navy is interested in this one. Frame has the capability far above Indonesian Navy combatant ship, and probably above the existing frigates in the region too. In other words, Having this frigate will greatly enhance Indonesian Navy deterrence power in Indo-Pacific region. With the French, Italian, Egyptian, and Royal Moroccan Navy already use this frigate, and later US Navy will also join the club, we don't need another reason not to choose this frigate, except maybe the price and the technology transfer. With the current price double of what Ivar-Huitfeldt and the 30 FFM, also without technology transfer over, it will be a roadblock for Indonesian Navy to procure these amazing ships. There is another candidate that I should mention too, the Omega frigates from Damen. Based on the 7 Provincian class frigate with the displacement of 6,000 tons. Damen offered this frigate back in 2018 with the name Future Frigate Indonesia or FFI. And it will be replacing the M-class frigate in the Netherlands and Belgian Navy too. But beside the news from 2018, I can't find any follow-up news from Damen Omega or FFI design. It seems like they just disappear without a trace. Either Damen offers is not attractive so we are not interested, or it's not fit with Indonesian requirement and budget. There you have it guys, some of the candidates for Indonesian Navy Future Frigate program. Personally, I will choose Ivar-Huitfeldt again, simply because we already secured the production line from the previous procurement, so building the same ship again will be convenient for PT PAL. And maybe someday we can sell it to other countries as well. But what about you? Which one will you pick? Ivar-Huitfeldt, 30 FFM, Frame, Omega, or something else? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't watched my previous video about Ivar-Huitfeldt or the Japanese frigate, you can watch on my playlist right there, any second now. And thank you for watching Pacific Front channel. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.